and really getting to that place of, when you're shifting your identity, the work, the energy required is more than we're used to putting out. And especially when we're doing, shifting around money, shifting around perceptions, feminine energy, all of the things that we've been talking about. So today is really about integration. I want to give you guys a couple quick tips that you can use to start to integrate some of these ideas so that you are really creating the most out of what the work we've already done. And I just need to, perfect. Okay. So, but before I do that, I would love to hear some of your guys' takeaways. So I know if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can't see the comments, but in Zoom, where we are right now, I can. I would like to hear some of your guys' takeaways, and they can be simple, they can be big, they can be deep, they can be whatever. I'll give you a couple while you guys are putting those in the chat. I'll tell you a couple that have been sent to me privately. One was that the shift away from allowing other people to dictate energy. So one of our participants got into a conversation, and during that conversation, it was quite negative, complaining from the other side, of course. And instead of taking that on and listening and supporting the way she would have previously, instead what she did was she created a boundary energetically and said, no, I'm not going there, and I'm not taking that on, and I'm not going to, because really what happens when you calibrate to the energy around you, what you're agreeing to, you're legitimately making a contract for the rest of how your day is going to go, right? And so that was a big shift for her to be able to be in the moment and recognize what was happening and choose the higher version of herself. Wow, that's a really big, for me, that's a massive breakthrough. And so very, very cool. Another one was that somebody sent me a message and said that they had felt like they'd had a lot of, grief in the last year, people, dying, life happening, how life's. And she said she feels like herself again, and that she feels as if she's been activated, and she realizes she has so much to give, and she's been keeping that back because of the pain and the grief, and just shifting through that and coming out the other side. So obviously, again, how do you get, this is called Millionaire Breakthru for a reason. How do we get to the energetic vibrational frequency that attracts the money that we are seeking? Because when we're in this stuck energy, when we're in this false identity, when we're disconnected from source, when we're not, our assumptions don't match our goals, meaning what we assume, because what we assume is what we get, right? Life doesn't give you what you deserve. Like, that's not a thing. Life gives you what you assume, what you expect. And so that was obviously a big shift also. We have a couple in the chats. Jan says, simple tricks for the workday has removed so much stress and helped me organize how I make this fit my life. That was in our VIP. We did that in the main class, and then we did a deeper dive. I homeschool 2 kids. My husband travels for work. Yeah. So I feel chaotic most of the time. I'm going to bed with less running brain and plan for next day and week. I am now planned for 2 weeks. Wow. How does that feel? Right? From chaos to clarity. You just made my hair stand on end. That's the point of what we do, getting to that place. Now imagine 6 months from now when you are actually like in a position where you're running your whole business like that. Right? Like you are the CEO of your life and business. I'm so proud of you, Jen. That's very, very cool. Tracy, I just had a similar experience this morning and chose myself. I walked away from the negativity. So powerful. So powerful. I will tell you that one of the things, if you have men in your life that live in your home or that you work with, their natural bent is towards fact and logic. And what we're talking about is energetic release, energetic rising. We're talking about all these things, and it does elevate your consciousness. And the problem is that the feminine and the masculine aren't meant to behave the same way. So when we go in our feminine flow, especially if we've been in a relationship where we've been out of balance with our feminine, So the guy in our life isn't used to seeing us in our feminine. It can kind of freak them out a little bit. Like, why are you acting like that? But if you, I do a couple, Greg's going to throw me, I think he's going to kill me for this, but I'll tell you guys what I do. So when Greg's like, would you just be logical? I'm like, oh, you want to be married to a dude? That's what you're asking me to do? You don't want me to be a feminine woman? You want me to act like a man? He's like, no, I don't want that. I'm like, well, then I'm going to stay in my feminine over here. How's that? And he's like, yeah, that's better. Right? So obviously that's an exaggerated example, but I do that because I have to remind myself that it's okay for me to be in my feminine. I'm very logical. I am data driven. I make decisions. I am like, I've grown multiple businesses to millions and millions of dollars. Like that doesn't happen in fairyland, So I am very logical, but I've also learned to stay in my feminine flow because when I'm there, my intuition guides me. When I'm there, this class came about from an intuitive hit, right? That's how this got here. So you guys understand that when you are learning to eject yourself from negative energy, and I'm not saying men are negative, I'm saying we can perceive it as negative. That's what I'm saying. They're not trying to be negative, they're just being themselves, right? I'm going to give you guys a free tip right now. Who wants a free tip on masculine energy? Anybody? Little free tip? Okay. Men think in boxes. Women have spaghetti brains. Men, when they're eating food, they're eating their food. When you say, what are you thinking about during dinner? He's thinking, my food. What do you mean, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about my food. And they only have a few boxes, okay? They have their work box, which is their money box, their work box. Work box and money box can be separate depending on the financial situation. But the work box, the food box, the sex box, and the nothing box. I love this. We've got a guy in the background. Let's just ask him. Men have the ability to think about nothing. They think about nothing. They can go into what we call the nothing box. And you'll say to them, they're sitting there calmly enjoying their nothing box. And you're like, what are you thinking about? And they say, what? Nothing. You're like, come on, what are you actually thinking about? They're like, nothing. But you're kind of wrecking it right now. Right? You're like, well, I want to come in your nothing box. No, you can't go in his nothing box. There's nothing in his nothing box. There's nothing there. It's nothing. Can you imagine how joyous it would be to have a nothing box? I would pay money for that. Okay, the same thing happens when they're having sex. They're thinking about sex. They're not thinking about the laundry, the grocery shopping, what the kids are doing. Did you turn off the oven? They're literally just having sex. Same with food, same with work. What we do is we connect everything together in like this big giant spaghetti dish, right? When we're having sex, we're thinking about the laundry, what's for dinner, when the kids have to be picked up, right? We shouldn't be. We should be like present doing something else, but that's fine. It's just the way our brains work. So now what happens is we go to be our positive, feminine, amazing selves that's like floaty and, in feminine mode. Feminine is very flow energy. It's very flow, right? And that's why I was telling you in day 1 and day 2, we have to learn to balance those things because inside of ourselves, we need masculine and feminine to be functional. If you're always in your feminine, you're not going to do anything because you're going to want to float around and color rainbows. Right? You want to go shopping and spend money and drink wine. Right? Yeah, you're like, yeah. In our masculine produces results. Masculine is based on results. If I say to my husband, I had a great day, he's like, why? What did you do? I'm like, no, I just had a great day. I felt good. He's like, what? Do you see the difference? So we have to get to a place of balance in ourselves, and we also have to get to the place of being able to accept them the way they are and stop trying to get them to be women. If you want to be married to a woman or in a relationship with a woman, go get a woman. Stop trying to turn your man into a woman. He doesn't want to talk about how you feel. He doesn't want to listen to your problems unless he's going to fix them. He doesn't want to hear you complain about your girlfriends. He doesn't want to. I promise. Doesn't want to. Now, does my husband listen to me? Yes, for the intention of fixing it. That's why he listens to me. And he'll say to me, do you want a solution right now or do you want me to just listen? Do you think he came out of the box like that? No, I had to teach him that. I had to teach him, right now, I don't want you to fix this. I just want you to listen. He used to say, well, what is the point of that? Like, they literally just don't get it. Why would you talk about something you're not looking for a solution for? Because if they're talking about it, they actually want a solution to the problem. Okay? So, what does that mean for us? It means that as we're integrating and learning to honor the masculine while reigniting the feminine, we have to be gentle on ourselves. We also have to be gentle on them. Right? It's really unfair to expect them to just catch up to you when they're not the ones doing the inner work. But you know what's really cool about the feminine? When you shift, they shift. Period. Every time. Okay? So, I love that you guys are learning to pay attention to the negativity, etc. So, I get to choose who I am and what my life will be. Deanna, yes you do. Yes you do. Doesn't that feel good? I am the author. Yes. And God is the perfecter. Okay, Angela, I was so inspired on Monday that it's allowed me to say it's time to go big. I actually started waking up earlier to get my workout done early before I start my day. I will tell you guys that is one of the success hacks if you're wanting to incorporate fitness and movement, which is very important for feminine energy. Fitness and movement is very important. Do it before your day starts. Some people can go do it in the afternoon. I cannot. If I leave it to the afternoon, I never get there. Period. I get up, I have my coffee, I do my quiet time, and go to the gym. Period. If I don't do that, it's not happening. I might go for a walk in the afternoon because I have a dog and I have to walk him. So also there's that. But, just be aware that if you are trying to incorporate movement into your life, do it in the morning. And that can be yoga, stretching, walking, swimming. I don't care what you do, but do something. Because the truth is our energy, the way energy actually works, people think that if they give too much, they run out of energy. It's not true. The truth is that the more you use, the more you get. So the less you use, the less capacity you have to hold energy. So if I put you guys into my life and I expected you to run my companies and do what I do in a day, you would be crushed under the weight of it. You just wouldn't do it. You wouldn't be able to do it because you haven't grown into it. You haven't had the ability to become the container that can hold that. And so I love network marketing for that, because network marketing actually creates an environment where you actually have to grow as your team and rank grows. You have to learn to do more. Same with homeschooling. If you move your kids out of school to homeschool, man, your capacity is going to expand like that, because they never leave. They're there all the time. So, and it's the same if you're building a coaching company. If you want to become a coach and you are whatever you're doing, right? Chris has got her coaching, her Ayurvedic coaching that she's doing. Well, for her to get to the place where she has courses and programs that are running on Evergreen and then coaching packages, that's an expansion time. That's going to be an expansion time. Learning to be able to hold more over time is important. Okay? So there's that. God, men are so amazing. I just love them so much. I love the comment. Women, to me, I don't know how men do it, to be honest. Like, can you imagine being with a creature that can change her mind drastically in 30 seconds. My husband rented a scooter this morning. He's in Thailand. And he told me he rented this like 350 horsepower something or other scooter. He goes, it goes 0 to 100 real quick. I'm like, oh, like your wife. I'm like, so you have a type. Right? So, like, can you imagine trying to figure out what goes on in here? Like, we can't even figure it out. And we want them to figure it out. We want them to know. They should just know, right? We don't even know. Like, what? Anyways. Linda made the hugest decision of my life about personal development. I'm going to stop right there and I'm just going to say Linda. Linda got started in Millionaire Breakthru Experience and she's never invested this VIP. Her upgrading to VIP in this 2-day event was a big deal for her at $47. She just is enrolling. We just have to figure out the exchange, but she's got it. She's in. We just have to figure out the actual link. And she is enrolled in the 6-month program. And I'm so proud of you, Linda. I'm so proud of you. Seriously, like I love. Just so you guys know, she's been with her network marketing company for 9 years. Is that correct? 9 years. She's been there. She's one of the founding members of that company. And she has been earning and saving what she's earning, and she's using a portion of that to get enrolled. And I just think, isn't that the point of being able to create sovereignty for women? I am so proud of you, Linda, and I'm so excited for this next 6 months. We're just going to get you rocking and rolling. So yes, it's a very big deal. I also want to congratulate Tammy Schaefer. She got started in Millionaire Breakthru. We're excited for her. Bonnie Goss also got started. She's really excited. Tracy Penner got started, and Tracy actually decided to do Millionaire Breakthru, and she took a one-on-one coaching spot. She's dead serious about getting results in the next 6 months, so that's really cool. And there's several others that have gotten started, and forgive me, I don't have all the names in front of me, but we will be putting announcements out on social media and in the Facebook group. And I really want you guys to understand that what happened for me during this event, and I'm going to try not to cry, so just forgive me. What happened for me during this event was hearing your guys' stories and seeing the inspiration and knowing that I get to be a very small part of your elevation. Like literally, Catherine is getting started today, actually. Catherine, who did her testimony yesterday, the one that she won the $500 scholarship, she's getting started. And just hearing the transformations that have already occurred in a 2-day event. I mean, we're not even talking the full 6-month experience. Can you imagine? And then the other thing that happened for me is that I have been really going back and forth on the level of effort, or focus is a better word, not effort, focus, that I want to put on my coaching certification programs. Now, the way the coaching certifications work inside of She's Creating an Empire is that you take the first 2 level courses, which have been packaged as standalone courses. They are being revamped. One is the Financial Fitness Academy. So I want you guys to understand the ecosystem, right? Is that okay? The Financial Fitness Academy. And then the Online Income Accelerator. Those 2 courses are programs that our level 1 certified coaches can earn commissions on, okay? So they learn the material, they take their course certification, then they can go ahead and get clients using our product, our training, so you don't have to train your clients. The delivery is all done for you, but then you are walking them through the material. And that we have 97 coaches certified at that level. This morning I made the decision because I have not done a coach intake in 2.5 years. There's been no coach intake in 2.5 years. So I am going to reopen coach intake. That will happen Q1 of 2026, most likely around March. Then By the end of the year, CEO School is coming back. CEO School. So Millionaire Breakthru, what we're talking about today and the program that's available to you guys is your foundational program for your identity, your millionaire identity. Your program, what I call your legacy ladder, knowing what you're going to sell and how you're going to sell it. Your brand, your messaging, how you're going to go to the world, how to create a mission, how to get the ball rolling, basically, right? How to get to your first 6 figures. That is what Millionaire Breakthru is, and hitting those 10K months. CEO School is when you want to scale past there. When you want to learn email marketing, funnels, really CEO level running a company, right? When you start hitting 200,000, 250, 500, how do you handle that and how do you grow a team and outsource and all of that? So CEO School is coming back probably around September, October. Once that is in place, the first quarter of 2027, we're going to have a level 2 certification for the people that have gone through CEO School. The purpose for this, you guys, and this is why I'm sharing this with you, what happened for me during this event was I got clarity on the exact mission of She's Creating an Empire. And that is to create a feminine financial ecosystem for women to rise in their power, reclaim their authority, and step into financial sovereignty. And that is not, again, I really need you guys to hear me. This is nothing against guys, because you guys will get to know me. I love my husband. But I also know that we have been trained to lose the financial game. We have been trained to lose in business. We've been trained to be afraid. We've been trained that we should sit down and shut up. And then you get the random ones like Diane that's like, I'm not doing that. And she doesn't even say she's not doing that. She just didn't do it, you know? So there are the random women out there that, you know, kind of crack the code by accident almost. But the majority of women need to learn how to rise in their power, reclaim their identity truly, and step into that greatness. So I just wanted to let you guys know you did as much for me as I did for you in the last couple of days. I'm so grateful. We are going to create 100 6-figure earners through Millionaire Breakthru in 2026. We are also going to rescue 100,000 lives. And that's a really big deal to me. And what I'm thinking is we will add in a trip to India for those that want to go, that were part of the rescuing. A portion of all of the revenue for She's Creating an Empire goes to rescuing lives, literally. So I do have to figure out how to work that out, because I want to have 2 different ways. Every time a program is bought, I want that portion to go to rescuing lives, but we're also going to run like a Thanksgiving feast so that we can feed families in local areas where we can raise money and people can lead those kind of challenges too. All right. Deanna says, I've told my husband I just need you to listen to me several times. Yeah, I know, right? Please don't fix it. Just listen. Okay. I get to choose. Okay, let me go down. Krista says, I was reminded of who I am, what I'm capable of, and to dream big again and aim higher. I've been aiming to live a simple life at this point of my life, but then I still need to bring more to support the dreams I have for contribution. Thank you. You know, Krista, I'm so grateful that you said that, and here's why. When our soul is craving connectivity to feminine energy, we think a simple life is what we want. The truth is, when you step into your feminine energy and really embody that and embody your purpose and get into that manifestation place, the truth is you become actually more powerful and more ready to contribute and more capable of, you know, simplicity can be things like getting rid of complicated people, you know, cleaning up your space so it's organized, you know, making sure that I am I really like things to run efficiently. It's really important to me. Efficiency. I hate inefficiencies. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts in business. That's why I'm so good at building systems for network marketing or for coaching, because I hate when stuff doesn't work proper. Like I want for you, and Diane and I were having a conversation. One of the things we're doing, she's going to be having through the Millionaire Breakthru Experience, she is getting a one-on-one call, and we are going to do a full funnel audit for her so that she has something that is truly functional, right? And that is something that we do work on inside and outside. So just so you guys know, that is included inside Millionaire Breakthru. But of course, you guys know for the painfuls, they got a bonus. Can I make myself a speaker? I will after I'm done looking at your pretty faces. Look at that. Regina, all these are so good. Thank you for sharing. Imagine if you did not sign up for this Zoom. Mic drop, right? Morgan, thank you so much. Diane had me jump on this, and I don't regret it. I will be applying this to my future of being a sheep farmer. I love the fact your coaching is able to apply to any woman. It's empowering. Yes, Morgan. And by the way, do you know how important sheep farming is? Do you know that I'm not even kidding you guys, not to mention the wool, but the only cheese that I can eat is sheep cheese. Like, I have sheep truffle cheese. I love sheep. Thank you for doing that. The world needs you, what you're doing. All right, let me make myself the speaker. I do want to actually, before I do that, I do want to ask, does anybody have any specific questions about material, business, and really anything? The floor is open. If you do, either put up your hand or unmute yourself. And there's no stupid questions. So for me, I just want to make sure that you guys have the ability to integrate the information that you've learned. If you've got a sticking point, if you're not sure about something, go ahead and ask.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
One of my things that I've noticed about myself is that I can see through things, people, business. So when it's a hot mess, I can see it, and people keep portraying like it's not a hot mess. It is a hot mess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Specifically, I do, yep.
I know specifically you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh. So what's your question?
So my question is, I like the vehicle, but I don't necessarily like how we're going to get there. Mm-hmm. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do I navigate through that when I recruit my people?
So this is an identity question, and everyone's going to face this at some point. First of all, every company always has boogers. That's what my mentor used to say. Seriously, you just sometimes it takes longer to see them. Okay? So never think that anything is perfect, because it's not. For me, what I do is I ask myself, does my trajectory line up with where the company is going? And energetically, do I feel good about putting people in this environment? And for me, that's the most important question, because the Bible says that you should raise people up in the way that they should go. That's why I don't care what you do for a living. I'm going to raise you into a sovereign, powerful, in control woman to do whatever it is that you do. I don't need you to do what I do or to do what, But the truth is, we get out of alignment when we know an environment is unhealthy and we continue to stay in it. And that can be in a relationship, that can be in a business, that can be, sometimes, like for example, Greg and I had a period of 3 years. It was toxic, absolutely toxic. And we were both participating, by the way. So I can't just say it was him, right? Because it takes two to tango. But there was enough history, enough, I don't even know the word, commitment, right? Like, I know he's my husband. God literally said, first time I talked to him on the phone, never even seen his face. I was never getting married again, ever. Talked to him on the phone. He said, hey girl, just phoning to confirm that meeting. And God said, that's your husband. And I said, hell to the double no, it is not. We were married in 6 months. Okay? So we had our rough patch 14 years in. So there's enough history, enough love, enough whatever. Now that's a relationship example. I've also had a relationship where it was toxic and there was not the same, it wasn't good. Like there was not enough goodness to equal working it out. Let's fast forward to business. And I've been divorced twice, just so you guys know. I got married, ended up in a women's shelter, was single for 4 years, met a guy, got married after 2 years of dating, and he ended up liking another gender. That was a little shocking. So, which is, and it was all meant to be. All of it's 100% meant to be. And then I was with nobody and I was never getting married again. It was never going to happen. Blah, 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 blah. And then Greg come along and I'm like, okay, fine. This is crazy. Fast forward to business. I built my first company for 6 years, and behind the scenes, it was going the wrong direction. But because of my loyalty to the company, I stayed with that company. That leadership team actually ended up as a team transferring to another company. And the owner of the first company, my first mentor, died. And that was devastating. And we were at the second company, and it was excellent for several, like $50,000 a month for several years. And then they started making cuts and started acting in ways that it was not cool. And we were unwilling to stay in that situation because we knew the road and the pain and the path, and we couldn't put people into a deal where we're saying one thing and something else is happening on the back end. So my wisdom, my intuition, and my alignment now is more important to me than a paycheck. So if I see stuff, I walk away. That's it. But that's just where I'm at in my life. And you have to get there on your own. Everyone's different, right? Why do some marriages end after 2 years and some take 10 years? Why do some people, stay with a network marketing company 10 years past the time that they should? I don't know. It's all your personal journey. So that's not an easy question, but one thing I will say is that if you have the discernment to see and you're feeling nudged and God is tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, pay attention, then maybe you should pay attention. And that's in anything, right? So now where I'm at in my marriage, in my business, in everything that I do, there is always going to be issues. That's just life. There's always issues, I promise. There's always issues. But I speak my mind. I try to find a solution. And in some cases, there is no solution to be found because the other party doesn't want to change. And most of the time, what I've found when companies are struggling behind the scenes, it's because they are uncoachable and they are not listening to the field and they are running a one-person show. Is really, and I mean that, like, it could be the COO, it could be the CEO, it could be even with the marketing department. When the marketing department stops listening to the field, I mean, it just is what it is, So there's a couple ways to solve that. One, you need to listen to your intuition. You need to pay attention and you need to trust yourself. Number two, you can set it up so that in some cases you can build separate from corporate. I've done that where I've just I won't put my people in front of corporate, but that's not always possible in some companies because the event culture is so apart. Like, for example, we were talking about the gold investing. That's something that I'm going to be incorporating into She's Creating an Empire, but my people will not be a part of the company culture at all. They will be a part of She's Creating an Empire culture. And that's not wrong. And you can do it however you want to do it. But I just know where I'm at in my career and where I'm at in my business. And I'm building She's Creating an Empire. And I want leaders that are here to support that mission and that vibration and all of that, and then they can go build their companies. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not going to go build their companies. I'm going to build this company because we're building a movement. So I think you just have to define it for you. And I know that's not a simple answer, and I know it's not easy. And there are rough patches in every company all the time. Like, we'll have rough patches. If I'm going to go put 100,000 people through She's Creating an Empire, it's going to be a bit bumpy. This is just what it is. And that's okay, as long as we're working through it together and it's not toxic. That's the question that you really have to get down to. Is it toxic? Does it feel toxic to you?
Right. And I get what you're saying. What I struggle with probably the most is when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. When the company says they're going to do something, they need to do it.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And there's once or twice, like, if Regina hadn't reminded me to do the $500 giveaway yesterday, I would have forgot. but somebody would have reminded me, and then I would have gone and done it, because I said I was going to do it.
Every company has the right call audible. That's not what I'm talking about. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's uber important, especially because trust, what do women crave? They crave safety. They crave trust, really, at the end of the day. I want to trust you to be who you say you are, even if who you say you are isn't amazing all the time. As long as I know, like we have a saying at our house, it's like, why did the scorpion kill the frog? So the scorpion says, hey, frog, give me a ride across the river. Frog's like, I don't know, you're a scorpion. Scorpion's like, no, it'll be fine. I'm going to be on your back. Why would I kill you? I wouldn't get across the river. So the scorpion gets on the frog's back. Frog swims across the river. Scorpion kills the frog. They both die. Frog gets to heaven, says, why did you kill me? Why did the scorpion kill? It's a scorpion. Of course it's going to kill you. That's what scorpions do. So you can expect people to be themselves 100% of the time. So if somebody continuously shows you their character, I believe them. That's another saying at our house. Show me your character one time, I believe you. You don't need to show me 50 times. A liar is a liar, a cheat is a cheat, a thief is a thief. I'm going to be hiring a new team within my company. I had a conversation with a woman this morning who wants a job, and we had a very direct conversation. I will not have victims in my company. I will not have drama in my company. And if I see it, I will call you on it. And if you cannot course correct in about 30 seconds, I will fire you on the spot. That's where I'm at. If you lie, steal, or cheat one time, bye. But you know how long it took me to get there? I used to make exceptions for people. How many of you do this? You make excuses for people. Oh, well, they said they were going to do it. They said, my favorite is in network marketing, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Diane, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it bigger than anybody's ever done it, Diane. Yeah, good. Go do it. Show me. Right? But what I used to do was like, no, they said they were going to do it. Okay, but are they doing it? Right? Now, I'm not saying like it's okay to not try and fail. Like, try and fail. That's how you get good is by failing. Like, nobody wants to hear that, but you have to suck first before you ever get good at anything, even coaching, or whatever you're doing. Sheep farming. How many sheep have to die in the process of becoming a good sheep farmer? I don't know. Probably a few. But nobody wants to hear that. No, it's all, So when somebody shows you their character, believe them. Super important. And when you integrate, see what's happening right now? I'm so grateful that you brought this up because I'm sure everyone else has it somewhere in their life. When you have your intuition saying one thing and you continue to act against your intuition, you're creating what they call dissonance or separation in your spirit. And when you create separation in your spirit, then things like depression, fatigue, chaos, no results show up in your life. So we do have to pay attention, and we have to be willing to integrate and listen to ourselves and honor ourselves in that way. Yeah. Krista says, I always give them a second chance, and I always end up with a first impression. Amen, sister. Now, having said that, I had a VA that totally messed up, a major mess up, and I fired him. No warning. Fired him. Removed him from everything. Bye. Click, click. Bye. And he got online and he said, please, 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 ma'am. And he just had a baby. So that's a major, his first baby. And he said, please, 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 it'll never happen again. Give me another chance. I said, I will give you one more chance. But if you so much as misstep by 3 inches, we are done here. And he has been lovely. Absolutely lovely. Why? Because there was something going on in his life that was a massive situation that caused the mistake that he made. Right? So I corrected him as far as like, you know, if you're having a baby, you kind of need to tell me that. You can't just pretend like it's not happening. But he's also a 26-year-old dude who's never had a baby. So he thinks everything's going to be like normal. I'm like, oh yeah, gosh, you know? And then you have a screaming infant in your home and your wife is doing all the things. It's fine. So, people do make mistakes, but when I just need you guys to hear me, watch what people say, or watch what people do, not what they say. Watch what people do, not what they say. You don't have to judge them for it. There's zero judgment. And also recognizing that people come for a reason and a season. There are 5 types of clients. There's 5 types of distributors. There's 5 different types of coaches. Do you guys want to know what they are? There is the social ones. Social coaches, social distributors, even social employees. They go to work for their friends. Katie, she's like, that's me, right? So they're not really there for the money. The money's fine, but they're there because they like the people. They're social distributors, okay? Then you have, I love that, she's like me, social distributors. And then you have your very part-time, they're called seasonal distributors. They're there for a season. These are the people that will make $5,000 and get so excited, they go on vacation for 3 months. And then when they run out of money, they come back and go back to work. Coaches are the same way. Coaches will do a launch. They'll make, $5,000. Like if you work with me and you want to launch a coaching business or you want to launch your network marketing business, you will get to $10K a month if you follow directions and you actually do the work, right? But then what's going to happen, you're going to get there, you're probably going to hit a terror barrier, and you're going to have more money than you've ever had coming in, and then you're going to go on vacation. Because that's just what people do. But some people go on vacation for 4 months. Those are seasonal people. And then they come back when the money runs out and they have to figure it out again. Okay? Then you have part-time people. Part-time people are part-time people. 10 hours a week or less. They're part-time, maybe 15. Then you have full-time. Full-time people, they do the thing full-time. Full-time is like 30 to 40 hours a week. And then you have your no-time. Your no-time people. They sign up, they start their coaching business, and they never do anything. How many is that? 4, 5. Now, here's the problem and what we do, and it's a major problem. If you are struggling to get duplication, if you're struggling to get referrals, if you're struggling to have people stick and stay, if you're struggling to get your coaching clients to refer other clients, if you're struggling to get renewals in your coaching business, if you're struggling in your sheep business to get people to show up, I don't care what you do, if you're struggling with the referral side of business, which is where the money's at, by the way, it means that you're trying to get people to be something that they're not. You're trying to get the no-time people to be the part-time people, and the part-time people to be the full-time people, and the seasonal people to be the full-time people, and all you're creating is pressure. And people don't need pressure. This is a major problem in network marketing, but it's also a major problem in the coaching industry. So what does this mean? It means that if Jan comes to me, Jan's already told me right now. Jan said, I'm homeschooling mom, my husband travels, and she wants to make money in her business. Jan, have you done a work schedule? You're not in trouble, by the way.
No, I've tried numerous times and failed.
Okay, so you don't know how many hours you're working your business? No.
Not a dang clue.
Okay, so how many hours a week? This is what you need to figure out. You need to get out a schedule and you need to look at your week. God, I wish I had my planner here. It's in my bedroom where I do my planning in the morning. Okay, so no, you need a schedule. That's a calendar. A schedule goes from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You know why? Because you need to account for your hours. CEOs know exactly what they're doing. So you guys, I gave you the CEO 2-hour workday. Part of that is blocking. If you guys are joining Millionaire Breakthru, you get an entire section on how to plan properly. Okay? So, but I'll just give you a cheat sheet right now. So you go in and you block out your time. So you can do, your CEO start, what I call the CEO start. That's getting plugged in to your day, knowing exactly what you need to do, scheduling it out and figuring out, is this going to work for me? And then you go through your day and you know exactly how many hours you're working your business. I don't care if it's Krista growing her coaching business or a sheep farmer. It doesn't matter if we're not acting like business people. That means we have a hobby. And the problem with that is, if you, Jan, have realistically 10 hours a week to build your business, and your leader hears your voice saying, I want full-time money, she's going to have full-time distributor expectations of you. And so are you. When in reality, you only have 10 hours, which makes you what? Part-time. Now, what we've created is a problem in the brain because we think we're failing. And we have this constant, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I'm not building my business, blah, 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 blah. And then we freeze and do nothing. Or we get mad and quit. Or some people get mad and blame their leader because the leader is like, Jan, you said you wanted this. Then you feel worse because you did say you wanted it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's really important to know your people. It's really important to set proper expectations. If you come into Millionaire Breakthru and you want to build a 6-figure business, I will tell you in network marketing, you need a minimum of 10 hours a week. As a coach, you probably need more like 20. And the reason being, as a coach in network marketing, you're building an organization who then you get leverage, right? So you might get 5 people started and they get 5 people started. Now you're creating leverage. As a coach, there's no leverage. It's you until it's not, right? So let me just show you this. How many of you will refer people to my next masterclass? Give me a wave if you'll refer people to my next, right? And if you're building, wouldn't you want your team here? Of course, because I'm going to do all the heavy lifting and get their head straight. So now what happens is I've created an army of women that are like, that felt good. I want other women to feel good. Let's go. But if I sat here and said to you, well, Jan, you said you wanted full-time money and how you don't even have a calendar yet. Like what? Like if I made you feel bad, how likely are you to show up to the next class or take any action in your business at all? You're not. So we play this little game with ourselves and we expect us to be at a certain level when in fact we need to identify what we are. And if you're a social distributor or a social coach, meaning you're just doing it for the relationships, stop beating yourself up about that. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Do you guys know that connection, community is the new currency? Especially after what we've been through in the last couple of years, what they put us through psychologically, right? So if we know that community, yeah, we were just talking about it at a network meeting last night. Yes, it is the answer. That's why we'll be running retreats this year and in-person live events. I plan on getting into 2026, probably the end of the year, getting into North America and running in-person events. That's one of my goals. It's everything. So I used to run them, by the way, all the time. So it's not like new. I just have to reactivate them. Yeah, Regina, finally, yay. So 85% of network marketers are women. Let's get them all there. Exactly. Let's get them all here. So here's the thing that I want you guys to understand. You need to identify where you fit in the 5. And then stop beating yourself up for not being something else. You know, like I have a massive goal for my company. I will be working 40 to 60 hours a week for the next year. I'm okay with that. I'm an empty nester. What else am I going to do? Drink wine? Get fat? Nope, not going to do that. So identify where you're at. And keeping in mind, you guys, just because you work 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week doing what you love to do doesn't mean you can't rest, right? What do we say? We work when we're inspired. We rest when we're tired. So Friday for me this week, I will answer whatever messages for the Millionaire Breakthru students that are wanting to get started because they're in my DMs. And then I will not do anything else. And Sunday, I will get a massage and go to the spa and refill my cup and sit in the sun and take my mom for brunch and have some wine and make some pasta, right? So it's not like it's not a hardship when you want to do it. When you want to do it. So identify what kind of you are and then identify who on your team is what and then support them in being that. So Jan, if you have 10 hours or 15 hours, depending on your schedule, a week, those 10 to 15 hours need to be building your brand online, reaching out to leads, exposing, following up, and getting them in front of your leader to close. That's your job. Period. Right? Also means, and I'm not talking to you now, Jan, I'm talking to everybody. Training is not a part of your work hours. Business hours are not used for training. Those are different hours. Those are training hours. So if you're inside Millionaire Breakthru, you need to schedule in your training hours. How I do it when I sign up for a new program is I look at the curriculum, I lay it out in my calendar, and I follow the plan, whether I feel like it or not. I do it in blocks of an hour, and I always leave implementation time. So I will watch a 30-minute video and do 30 minutes of activity on the video that I just watched. Instead of running through all the content, not doing the work, and not getting the result. The other thing that I firmly believe in, and you guys inside of Millionaire Breakthru, you're going to have these sheets, and that is a weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual review. Every week, I review. Did that work? Did the activities get me where I wanted to go? Did I do the things that I needed to move the needle? Did my team succeed? You know, who do I need to reach out to? I review. Why? Because the person that course corrects the fastest makes the most money. Why would you continue to do something that's not working? And then beat yourself up because it's not working. Do you see how crazy we make ourselves? Well, that's not working, but I'm going to keep doing it. And then 6 months later, we don't have the result, and then we feel frustrated, and we think it's just so messed up. So let's just not do that. Let's do a review, do a plan for the week, and then execute the plan. And at the end of the month, we do a review, we make a plan for the next month, we execute the plan. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's just, no, it's like pretty logical when you think about it that way, but that's not what we do as humans. We way prefer to beat ourselves up. Plan, do, act, check. Love it. What would you say the 20 hours are for a coach? Great question. Building your brand, exposing leads, showing the information, closing them, onboarding them, and then delivery, of course. What would I say a sheep farmer needs to do? Build their brand, build their leads, expose their business, get the clients. How do you, oh, that's really hard to say. Ship the sheep. I had to slow down on that one. That almost came out wrong. Okay, so yeah, okay. So the truth is all business is the same, all of it. You must have a continuous stream of leads, and it's the hardest part to learn for people. Because as a coach, what's my favorite thing to do? This. But do you know what I had to do to get this done? You know, build a funnel, build a brand online, build an email list, you know, set up notifications, handle my DMs, you know, like it's a lot. You have to do a lot to get the result that you want. It's no different in anything. In network marketing, it doesn't matter. You know, I love people, they're like, I got a new business partner. I'm like, no, you didn't. You got a yes. A new business partner is a new business partner when that person is taking action and getting results. Now you have a business partner. Until then, you have a whatever it costs, yes. Same with you guys. You're going to join Millionaire Breakthru? Perfect. Let's get you results. Let's go. Right? Like, let's fix it. Let's do it. Let's go. All right. I'm used to leads in person. Do you have suggestions for the online space? Join Millionaire Breakthru. That is my suggestion. There is so much wrapped up in your brand that the messaging, the marketing. So, for example, every piece of content that you put out needs to speak to the one person that's your client in some way, shape, or form. And you want some of them to be educational. You want some of them to be inspiring. You want some of them to be a call to action. So you're building like a little mini ecosystem of people getting to know, like, and trust you. Social media is a place for people to know, like, and trust you, right? So if I'm at an in-person event, what's the first thing people do? They Google me. When they Google me, what do they find? A whole bunch of content that's directed directly at their pain points. That's why they sign up. Then once they sign up and they're in something and they get exposure to it, they're like, oh, this is what I need, right? So social media, I wish it was an easy, quick fix. It's not. The amount of mental power you are going to have to apply to become a true marketer will take at least 6 months, if not a year, inside of a portal that's training you how to do it. So what we do first, we build your brand. So we need to get down to what is your message, what is your mission, who are you serving? Then come up with the persona that you want to show up online as. And this is a step that most people skip, right? Like they just skip over becoming the expert in their field. Why would you follow somebody who's not an expert in their field? Like, I don't understand what's happening. So now we have to say, okay, I'm an expert at what? And you know, we talked about it during VIP. If you're in network marketing, you can use the expertise of your upline. You don't have to just be the expert. But Krista, in your situation, you need to be the expert. You are the expert. You don't need to be. You are. So now we have to create that persona online and step into the power of that, the identity of that. And it's not just how the pretty picture looks. It's how you show up online, right? So, you know, calling your person, knowing who your avatar is, what their pain points are, you know, what they're struggling with, what the answers are, extremely important. And talking to that stuff, and you're going to be bad at it before you're going to be good. And then you have to learn how to get the leads from that. And then once you have the leads, you have to learn how to have a conversation with those leads. And then once you have the conversation, you have to learn to turn them into a prospect and show them in some information and get them in front of your offer. And so all of that can be done quite quickly once you start to learn. And that's a funnel flow. It doesn't have to be a web page, but you do need a freebie. You need somewhere to collect an email list, right? You need to be building an email list. It's like, that's not even optional. If you're going to grow a business of any kind, you need an email list. Facebook shut down, for God's sake. You guys know that, right? Facebook just turned itself off. I think it was a test, but anyways, we won't go there. So, you know, you need to have an email list because you don't want your business built just on social media. So, you know, it's a whole ecosystem of things. So I wish I could give you a quicker answer. But I really do know that what you need to do is be inside of the container, because I think that what you have, your skill set, what you deliver to people is so powerful, but people just need to know about you. They just need to know. I'm used to leads in person. Yeah. The brand and your story is what people want more than what your actual marketing is selling. 100%. 100%. If I'm sitting here telling you about a program, but not sharing my experiences with you, not sharing how I got here, you know, not sharing just the journey, then there's no depth to the story. There's no reason to take action because you can't see where you can end up. But because I've said, hey, listen, this is where I was, this is what I've done, this is how I did it, I can show you how. That's what you need to do, Krista, online. Like, this is how I got here. This is why I teach this. This is what I discovered. This is how I help women. Just so you guys know, she helps women who are perimenopause, menopause through your Vedic technology teachings, how to manage symptoms and feel better in their own bodies, right? That's kind of a big deal. Anybody know anybody who's in menopause that doesn't feel happy in their body? Like, what? Everyone needs that, you know? So it's just a matter of creating that environment for your clients to step into, to put up their hand to say, yes, I want that. Stories sell and facts tell, that's right. So is there any other questions, you guys? You want to drop any of your questions in the chat? I'm going to go over Millionaire Breakthru one more time for you guys. I know that there's actually a couple people that just signed up. This is their first time that they've been in this room, so that's pretty cool. They just got started. They can go back and watch the replays. We had a new VIP person get started today. One that joined the Masterclass and started with the VIP. So I want to make sure that you guys get your questions answered if you have any. So let me just go through what we're doing inside of Millionaire Breakthru and how you guys can participate if you want to. Number one, we are going to be focused on really activating the feminine inside of Millionaire Breakthru this year in a way that produces business results. So this isn't just a feminine woo-woo deal. This is like, how do we use our feminine power, our feminine intuition to activate our wealth in a way that we haven't experienced before. There is 11 modules inside of there, including social media, lead generation, branding, time management, financial fitness, so you guys can get your finances under control. What else is in there? Let me think. Email, how to build an email list. There is a network marketing module coming the first quarter of, and I've I really know how to do network marketing. And also how to grow a coaching business. You're going to develop a legacy ladder so you'll know what your offers are and how you're selling them, how to price them, feedback on all your messaging. Like, it's a very practical program, no matter what you're doing, to be able to build out your brand and your ability to attract leads and, you know, get them through the funnel and get them converting. So as a fast action bonus, just so you guys know that this is the last time Millionaire Breakthru is going to be offered for $3,000. It's a 6-month program. Anything else in the market right now is $5,000, just so you know, at this level. And that you're not getting near the spiritual meets the practical, which is my gift, by the way. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm really, really good at business, but I'm also good with the identity, spiritual side, getting you guys straightened out so that you can actually level up and succeed. What I've decided to do is keep the payment plan, which normally would be a 6-month payment plan. I'm keeping it at 12 months. And that means that the payments are only $297. So you can keep the $297 for 12 months instead of me making it 6 months, which would make them over $600. I just wanted to make it super accessible for you guys so you can do that. It will be the last time that that is offered, period. So if you're in a situation where you want to have that payment plan, it's very important that you do it now, because come January, it's not going to be there. The fast action bonuses that I put together for you, the AI Millionaire Identity Pack, how to train your AI to think, speak like you. We did a little bit of that inside of VIP. This is going to be a much heavier lift. So I'm going to show you how to use AI to nail down your brand and your identity. And then I'm going to get you to use what you create to train your AI. I'm really good at teaching AI how to make commands, how to run off commands. So my AI I can tell it, build me a sales funnel, and it will do it in my brand voice, how I like, all laid out. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. You're also going to get the 2026 Wealth Vision Workshop and Meditation. This is going to be something you can use for the whole year to keep yourself on track, because most people by February have forgotten what they said they wanted to do for the year. They get off track, life happens, I get it, but the meditation is going to be there to walk you back through it. The 2026 Empire Money Method Wealth Planning, which I'm going to also help you use AI to do, is happening next week. So by getting enrolled now, you're actually going to get inside of that workshop. It is a powerful workshop. I promise you will feel more inspired than you've ever felt. And you'll actually have a plan for your income, like a real plan. Not like a pie in the sky, I'd like to do this, but this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to get there, so that you guys can start executing on that. And I do have a profit calculator that you're going to be able to run some numbers through so that you'll be able to see what you do. If you are in network marketing and you need help with your compensation plan, I happen to be a compensation plan guru. So I can definitely help you run numbers, or if your leader's here, she can help you do it too. But that's something that you want to come prepared to that workshop with, because I'm also gifted at ratios. So I'm going to help you understand, and this is for coaches and network marketers, consultants, doesn't matter what you do. There are ratios that come along with your business. And when you know your ratios, then you know how many exposures you need. And where most people fall down is the exposures. They don't know how to do the lead gen. Inside of Millionaire Breakthru, you have a course that is there to help you generate 100 new leads a week. Okay? So from scratch, even if you don't know what you're doing. Which is, nobody ever believes me, but my favorite thing is when they take this one module, they come out with like 450 leads in a week. They're like, what the? These people have been here the whole time. So, right? Have you guys know that reference to the movie? You had this extra pair of mittens this whole time? That's one thing we use at our house all the time. I don't remember the movie, but it's hilarious. Yeah, Regina's like, hey, Regina, how many leads did you generate the first time you went through that? Do you remember? I think you were one of 800. Just to give you guys an idea. Like when I say this works, it works. And Regina was terrible at social media. Her first live, I'm like, honey, the next time you do it, you need to lift the camera up a little more. and there needs to be some lighting. Like, she was really bad at it, but we walked her through it, and now she's excellent. Right? I love it. So good. And then finally, the last thing we're doing for anybody who does the pay in full bonus, you're getting a pay in full bonus. Everyone will end up with access to this material if they are in Millionaire Breakthru, but the fast action bonus that I'm giving is the 12 feminine wealth activation codes. And these really aren't found anywhere online. No one's teaching it. But they are real laws and real codes that you need to activate in your feminine energy. You're also going to get the masculine ones, but most of you are already operating in the masculine. You don't really need more help there. We just need to activate the feminine. And that's going to be a workshop. These codes are going to be put together as a separate program. Just so you guys know, it'll be a separate price of a program. It'll be $1,000 buy-in where that's going. So you're getting those as a bonus. So basically the value of the bonuses is around the same cost as the course. So there's about $3,000 worth of bonuses. Anybody who pays in full is also getting 2 one-on-one calls with me. And those calls will be to do whatever you need. Like with Diane, we're going through her funnel. We're just setting all her duplication system is basically what we're doing. So you get to choose what you want to use those calls for. If you need to ask me what to use the calls for, I will help you determine what we need to talk about on those calls so you get the most information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the link for the registration. Does anybody have any questions about any of that before we kind of move on? If you do, just unmute yourself. I know many of you are already jumped in, and that's all good. There's the link. No, that's the wrong link. I did it again, dang it. Me and my links. Okay, hang on 1 second. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me and about anything, but about the program or about how it works or access to whatever you need. Just let me know. And
I had one. Can you start with the payment plan and then pay it off? Or no?
Yeah,
you locked into the payment plan.
No, you can. It just depends on when you're thinking about paying it off. So I will, if that's a question, we'll just work with that one-on-one and figure that out, because that's a very specific thing just for you, right? So here's the link. There you go. That's the correct link. And Jan, I do think that this program is perfect for you, like just where you're at energetically. I really do think that this will catapult your business. Linda, I have an older computer. Will that work? Okay, yes. Yes, it will work. Of course. I love that. Yeah, what's that? Okay, go ahead, Tammy.
Is there anybody in here that's on the fence?
I'm assuming there's probably several people that are on the fence.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I'm probably in the least financial position to do this, and I made it happen. If you can at all possibly beg, borrow, steal the money to do this, do it. I've spent thousands of dollars on self-development over the years. This right here is what I needed in the beginning. So I just want to put my plug in there for that, and I didn't get paid for that.
She's like, I'm not earning, just so you know. Thank you for saying that, Tammy. And one of the things that I love about what you just said is that the reason that women, when they come to my trainings, when they come inside of my portals, when they come inside, is because I'm not a new coach. Everything that I'm teaching you is from my experience. It's from going through making my first million and failing a whole bunch of times. It comes from failing in relationship. It comes from failing in my health. It comes from failing in business and, having to transition 3 network marketing companies. I built teams of over 100,000 people, right? Like I have 80 million in global sales. Like my coaching business, 7 figures, then it crashed. Like everything I'm teaching you is from succeeding, failing, and then succeeding again, and not doing it one time, right? You understand building a network marketing company to 50,000 people and then doing it again and then doing it again. That's not luck. That's strategy. That's mindset, right? Same with coaching business. My coaching business this year, my guess is my goal is 10 million. I probably will succeed it, right? And I'm starting from scratch. Like I'm starting from zero. I'm starting from October. I told you guys, I'm going back into coaching. Here we go. So the reason that women come and they're like, oh my God, this is what I needed, is because it's all from experience. And I remember when I was brand new, when I first really kind of like realized how connected or how necessary God is, spirit is in life, being connected to spirit, because I was disconnected for a long time, right? Like I was off running my own show. Basically, I was the master of my universe. I remember, like basically asking God, how are you going to use me? I'm so broken. And you know what the answer was? It's the broken vessels that walk along the garden path, that water the ground, that grow. And I was like, oh, wait a second. It is my cracks. It's my brokenness. Him literally pouring spirit into me and me allowing it to pour out. That is what changes people, right? And it's the same for you. When you can get into the situation where instead of trying to do this in your own strength and try to push and pull, and that's all masculine energy, by the way. All of that is masculine energy. I'm going to do it. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to make it. I'm going to. Well, what if we surrendered? What if we allowed spirit to come into us? What if we stepped into our mission? What if we stepped into our calling? What if we started sharing that with the world? What if we created a mission and a momentum and energy where people could enter into the energy and actually be changed by it? That's how you get results. And I don't care what you sell. It does not matter. People need to know that you really get it before they're going to join you. So thank you for saying that, Tammy. I really appreciate it. And I also want you to know, I don't care where you're starting from. I don't care how bad you think you failed. I don't care how broke you think you are. It doesn't matter to me, man. I have been there, and I told you guys in the beginning, this is a zero judgment zone. And even when you are in the middle of the storm, you need to really realize we need each other. We need each other. And when you don't have community, because here's what really the truth is, most of you are surrounded by negative Nellies and people that are not building their dreams, and, family that doesn't get it, and friends that are la-di-da. I live in Panama. You know what women do in Panama? Do you guys want to take a guess at what women do in Panama? Yeah. Get their lips done and drink wine for lunch. I'm not kidding. Krista lives here. She knows, right? They're not doing anything. If they have money, they're married to a man with money. It's not theirs. And I'm not kidding. And if they're retired here, they're trying to figure out how to make it happen. But it's not easy when you're isolated in a country that speaks Spanish. Okay? It is. It's hard. So how important do you think community is in that scenario or in any scenario? Michelle, I don't know where you live, but I'm guessing there's not 15 female entrepreneurs standing on your porch saying, Michelle, let's do this thing. Yeah, let's go. Right? Like, none of us.
I live in Keystone Heights, Florida, and I'm also a realtor, so I deal with multiple businesses like you.
So there you go, Michelle. So that means, and guess what? Watch this, Michelle. How cutthroat is real estate?
Extremely so.
So you mean the other women in real estate aren't cheering you on, hoping you get the deal over them?
They keep that quiet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's most people.
Our association in Gainesville is a little bit more friendlier than the one in Tampa where my sister is. So.
Well, you're lucky. But I'll tell you what, the game of real estate is getting listings from other real estate agents.
If they can.
If they can, they will.
Yep.
That's why having a community is so very important. Because first of all, we're going to shorten your sales cycle. Do you know what I do with real estate agents? It's the best. Oh yeah. We're going to shorten that sales cycle. We're going to get people buying and selling. It's so good, right?
Yeah.
But it's
I'm out of it for now. I'm doing nothing but the gold and silver business.
I love it. Okay, cool. So
They want to put out $2,000 or more just to be part of the memberships of these things. So,
the real estate.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. So here's what I want you guys to know. The community is in my opinion, one of the most valuable parts of this. So you get your curriculum, you get your community. Obviously, you get me twice a month. I'm in there. We're live like this, answering questions, doing reviews. You do your marketing message. You come to me, I review it. And I'm just going to tell you what I would say and how I would say it. You go back, you make sure it fits how you feel. And then we produce the next piece of content. So you're literally moving the ball forward. And the reason we do it every second week is so that you have time to implement. Because if you go through, for example, if you go through the branding, I want you to do the marketing message. I want you to get your stuff together. You come to a class, we go through it together. Then you go implement and you try it on and you see if it works. Then you come back and you're like, well, this piece didn't feel right. So we fix it. Like that's the point of this. This is a living, breathing, you building your business alongside of me, just using my business brain and my ability to cut through the spiritual crap to get you into the identity to move you through into a millionaire. That's why it's called Millionaire Breakthru. So I absolutely love you guys. Tracy's in, I know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you, Tracy. Tracy's like, she signed up for Millionaire Breakthru and then she messaged me. She's like, I want one-on-one. I'm like, okay, but here's the thing about that. I cannot teach you the amount of value inside of Millionaire Breakthru. Literally, you guys, I should be charging, honestly about $10,000 for the course, just for the content. Anyway, so she says, well, I want the one-on-one. And I'm like, okay, but I can't do that with you until you go through Millionaire Breakthru. Because otherwise, I'm just going to spend our calls talking and teaching you what you can learn inside the course on videos. I don't want to waste your time, you know? So she did both. So I'm like, that now she's got a call every week. What do you think is going to happen in the next 6 months for her? Like, it's crazy. So I'm excited for that. All right, guys, that's it. VIP, we're supposed to start in 8 minutes. So we'll take a little break. If you haven't signed up for VIP, you can still do so and jump in. You get lifetime recordings of the event. You get all your the worksheets, etc., etc. I absolutely adore you guys. I want to just say, I want to honor those of you that have shown up for all 3 days. I know that that's not easy. This is a lot of time and dedication that you've put into your personal growth in the middle of the day, making sure that you're focused and taking notes and doing the thing. And I want to literally honor you for that because your energy helps me do a better job. And so I appreciate you guys for showing up. If you have any questions or you need a call with me to make the decision, I'm just going to take 1 minute and drop the call link in the chat right now. And this is only if you're serious, but you have a couple calls or a couple questions that you didn't want to ask here and just want to verify. Like I did a call with Catherine because she had a couple questions. There is the call link. You can go ahead and pick a time or reach out to me on Facebook and we will set up a time to chat. You probably won't need more than 5 minutes. But if you are ready to jump in, just go ahead and do that. I absolutely love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Make sure that you have checked spam for our emails and that you're in the Facebook group, okay? Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.